Okay, hello everyone. We'll continue to work on iterative statements today. By the way, the midterm exam is scheduled. It was scheduled from the beginning of this semester, and it'll be online exam, but synchronous online exam. So I am going to watch you guys, and also my TA will look over you guys. So you guys need to turn on your Zoom cameras so that I can see you guys. All right, we'll talk about that more and more before you have your midterm. Okay. So for those who do not know yet, it's really surprising. Some students still do not know how to bring your Google Notebook, what you are going to do. First, the thing that you need to do is my Google Notes posted on your Blackboard. So you have to download your Google Notes on your laptop, and then you can open up the web browser and go to collab.research.google.com, where you may be able to see the the menu on top. So if you click the file, then there is upload notebook, and then you need to browse. There's 131, whichever that you save yours. So that I'm going to bring here part 2. Bring that up. Part 1, remember that's what we had the last week. And then this is a continuation from the part 1 that we looked at. Iterative statements in Python, actually in the two forms, for loop, and the other one is while loop. So let's start with a for loop. So I want you to recall a conditional statements of the list above, which means the previous the notebook. Say this is a list, okay? So what I want to do is I want to add all of the elements in the list. So it could be longer than this list or shorter than, it doesn't matter. The sum and average, then in order to get the average, then we need to get the sum, and then we need to the count. Although list has a count and I believe a mean, for example, but I want you to practice this in a little more logical procedures rather than using, for example, unless it has somehow count. It has counts. No, count is not. LST. Let's see. It does not really have. Let's see. LST dot. I don't think list has that methods, right? Forget about that. And come back here. In order to get the sum and the average, then we need to get the count of the elements in the given list, and then we need to sum them up. To get the sum, then we need to count from the first element till the end of this the list. The same thing, count. We need to add one at a time, then the same repetition goes all the way to the end of this list. That's what we do exactly here. So from the list, this is a list for each element. So for each number, I want to add that number to the sum. Remember that this plus equal sign is nothing but, this is the same as sum equals sum plus num. And also I explained this. What this means is that if we have equal sign, then we need to evaluate the right side first. We need to evaluate this first and then get the one number, right? That number, whatever the value, a given value needs to be assigned to the left side. So sum here, the right side, is not the same as sum on the left side, of course, right? So currently sum is 0, right? Initially 0. So 0 plus num. Num is in this for loop. The first number in the list is first element, right? So that'll be 0 plus 4. So the right hand side sum is 0 and number is 4 at the first loop. Then left side sum will be 4 because 4 plus 0 is 4. So apparently right hand side and left hand side, although they are the same, literally same variable, but those two variables are not same at all, right? Because the sum, the additions, the result of this addition should be assigned to the left hand side. So we keep doing that. Remember here for loop, then there's equal sign. No, colon. Colon is after the colon, then we need to have an indentation. In this case, 2 dots. And whatever you do here in the body of this for loop, all the statements needs to be in the same indentations. In the way they are the same code block for the for loop. Okay. So for a while, if we leave this the comments and if we run this, then we have whatever that is, right? Right now we didn't print anything at all. So if we want to print sum at each step, then you may be able to see initially 4, and the next sum is we need to bring number 8 and add that to the previous sum, which is 4. Then we will have more and more. I think we did that this exact same things last week. So this is once more. Okay. If you do not want to show this, then you need to put the comment so that we will have this. Again, if here the average is again infinitive decimal places. Therefore, if you want to cut somewhere, then you could do in this way. The print statements, sum and average, then we need to show like this. Sum is 61, average is 61 over 6. We simply get the sum and count equals, and then result of that average should appear here. Right? So we have a colon here. As I said, everything here, it has a colon, but can be omitted. This is the same. What we meant by this here is, if you want to say this is the first one, this is also first one, then we may not need this, I guess. And then this is the second one. This is third one. So we have only 3 elements there, right? 3 arguments. So first arguments we say 0, and second arguments 1, and third arguments here. If you want to show and share the same arguments twice there, then we can say 0 colon and 0 colon. And then third one here, there's a floating points f. You want to keep 2 decimal points, then we need to put here 2. If we want to have 3, then you need to have 3, and then you can run. This doesn't. Anyway, I think we need to put, because we have 3 decimal points, this guy doesn't don't like that. So let's put the other way here. If that is the case, then at the end, let's say we have to number 4. I mean the sum, and then we can say this is. Oh, by the way, this is because of that, right? This is 2. I think it should work. Yeah, that's what I thought. So 0, 1, 2. Let's see. Yeah, this works, right? Well, that was because I put here number 3. Then I need to have 4 arguments, right? Number 3. That was my mistake. Yeah, so it works in this way. So that I have 3 decimal points there. And I have a homework assignments. Consider 8 dictionaries, that Ethernet 802.3, Wi-Fi 802.11, Bluetooth 802.11.1, and then wireless personal area network, then that is 802.15.4. This is somehow wireless the protocols. So if you want to display this like this, Ethernet is in this. What is it? 31. It's not 31, right? It should be like that. So I wanted to put here we have dictionary. Then you need to say for each in device, and if you put print each, then you can show Ethernet, Wi-Fi, BT, LDR, WPAN, but I wanted to do like this, okay, do that. And then we want to, so we looked at so far the conditional statements and iterative statements. Those two statements are really essential when you do somehow decision making, and when you do the repetition of the same operation multiple times, still you can combine those two while you repeat the same operations multiple times, but that operation somehow branching out decision statements is needed. So the combination of conditional statements and the iterative statements is really essential in most of the codings. One specific applications of iteration is to manipulate the files. Remember that I want you to think of the file, let's say any documents, okay? Then documents has some of the repetitions, right? paragraph, paragraph, paragraph. Documentation is a repetition of paragraph. You may think, you may say that way. And also a paragraph may be a repetition of sentences. And sentence is a repetition of the word. By saying repetition of something, then you can operate it, you can access, you can open a given file the way that we think here, the iterative statements. Okay, so so three basic methods that we can think of when you want to read a file. Let's say F is a file object. Then the read method is to take and read n bytes, whatever the bytes. Okay, it reads everything, right? That's what it is. I'm very sorry that my throat is not really. I think that because of the transition of the weather. So read method reads everything at once. Read a line that is, I think I need to clear that. That is one line at a time. Read the lines returns a list of lines from a given file. So read, it gives me whatever written in the file as is. Read the lines, on the other hand, it gives me a list of lines. If it has 10 lines, then that will be output of this read lines is a list of 10 elements. So each element is a line. Read the lines, it reads one line at a time. So we'll look at that, okay? On the idea is very, we're now working on the Google Colab. As I said, the Google Colab is in the cloud. It's not on your laptop, right? Let's read some of the data from your laptop. What should we do? Then you have to first save some data on your laptop. Say, for example, do I have that? Right, I have here user underscore behavior underscore data sets .csv files. So this is, if I open this, then it is CSV files. What CSV stands for is comma separated value. So we have here user ID, comma. So this is the first column, and device model. This is the second column and third column, and so on and so forth. The value for that here is number 1, and Google Pixel 5. There's a second element in that record, and Android, and so on and so forth. This is what the data is. So we want to read that data. So what should we do? Do you think the cloud server can access your laptop? Unless you do a special setting, the Google laptop does not read your Google Cloud server does not read your laptop, of course, right? So what you need to do is on your left side here, there is a folder, the icon. It is called the files. Open that. then you will have a files, the pane on your left side. And then there is the menu on top of these files. The menus is an icon. So first menu, if you place your mouse on the first menu, then there is a upload to session storage. By the way, this Google Colab has already sample data comes with it. So if you click that there is a sample data. Okay, you can use this sample data, but here I want you to practice some data from your laptop. Okay, how you can bring your laptop data on this Google Cloud servers. So here, the button, the upload to session storage. Click on that, and then find out the file. I'm going to put these CSV files on your the Blackboard. So you need to download these CSV files from your Blackboard and get it ready from your laptop. And open this, and it came up. Remember that this is a folder on these files, and this is the file that we uploaded. And toward the end of this, the highlights, and there is a 3 dots. Click on that, then we will have here copy paste. Click on that, and remember that. Let's say this is initially you don't have any anything at all. Okay, you do not have right now at all. So you want to make a variable. This variable is the path expression. Then you need to put here in double quotes, and remember that we copied the path. Now we need to paste it, either Control V or Command V. Then that is stated here. So path expression here, this is a file name. Here there is a file name, and slash content slash, this is the path in this Google Colab. Once you have that, then next one is that you have to open that the path. So open is a built-in standalone function that you need to open the files, right? That is a function. It runs by itself. Like a standalone, one of the standalone function is, for example, len. This is a standalone function, right? That open, and then a file expression there. Then this guy is file option, file pointer, file open is on object of file pointer. So this variable, file open, that you name it, knows how to point at the file, right? So because this guy knows, so if you do not want to use that name, then you can simply say F, fine. Then you need to put here F, right? This is an object, F. F is a file pointer to the file location. Now we want to read it. Remember that read is a one of the method, okay? So that is it. And if you want to print that whatever read, then you can get it. This is what it reads, right? This is exactly that ones that we looked at. Number 10, there's iPhone, 12, iOS, that is here. Okay. And if you want to see split lines, then you can also do all that split lines. click. Then from here, there is one list, and this is one line, right? You want to make it line by line, one element. So from here, there, all the way here, there's one element, and then comma. Remember here, the first element in this is one line, right? Because we are talking about split lines. So that from here there, that is one line, and next line, this is a second line. So we have, this is the second element. What that means is, here is, if you want to see, oh, by the way, if I want to make this list the lines, then I can print the list the lines and hit enter. Then I have that. And if I want to see list lines and then the second elements, then I can get that one. Second element, which is 1 Google Pixel 5, that is the second elements there, right? Similar to that, we can have also read lines or read lines. Lines, then all the records there, all the lines here and in this, that each line will be an element in the list. So all the lines can be in a list. That's what it is. That is a read lines. This read lines can be done. Read line is one step, one method. But that method can be achieved by, for example, we first read and then using split lines, then we could have the same thing that we use read lines. So I want to put here list the lines. I want to put like that here. The same thing could be done here. Little lines. Let's say I want to comment this out for a while, and then file open and read lines. Okay, this file path is the same as the above. Okay, I didn't change that. And then file open, same as above, but I put here one option. This is the same thing. If we do not put any option, it means read. Here, you can put here, I want to read this. Okay, that's fine. You can read it, but definitely if you want to write it, then you need to put here W. But for now, we simply read. So read this file in, and then there is a file pointer. For that file pointer, I want to read all the lines at a time. All the lines together and put them in one list. So each element in the list will be a line. So that could be in this way. So you can see here, this is read lines. The outcome here, read lines. This is very similar to here. Exactly the same, but only difference here. if we have read the lines, then at the end we have one special character, backslash and n. Backslash and n means that is a new line. So actually here, this file at the end, although we do not see it, remember when you create this and when it comes here, then what do we do? We hit return, hit enter, so that it'll come to the next lines. That the hidden character, that is also identified here, recognized here, right? That is what is this. What we want to do here, we want to I want to comment to that. I want to make it the size of how many elements here. How many elements? We have 10 lines, and then we have the title lines. So total 11 lines. So what is the length here? Then length could be print size. And then 11 lines, exactly the same that we looked at here, right? 11 lines. So 11 elements. In other words, if we put that there and run this, 11 elements. So this is one element and whatever that. So if it is 11 elements, then you can do the 11, the 10th ones. What is the 10th ones? 10th one is this, right? What is the last ones? -1. Same thing. iPhone is the last ones, right? So I want to these comments, and so we have here now size 11th, and then what we want to do here, actually, as I said, that this is a file pointer, right? When we read this, then where is the file pointer? File pointer is all the way to the end. I want to show that to you. What I want to do is, let's put this everything up here. This code is this. This is 11 lines, okay? So for 11 times, we want to read lines. If we read 11 times, then because the read line is to read one line at a time, then we need to read how many lines? We need to read 11 lines, right? And this file pointer, after read one line, then file pointer points to the next line, and next line and next lines, right? So remove this, and then if we want to print here line, then we can see here it doesn't give me anything. You know why? Because when I read this, in order to get the length, currently my file pointer points to the end of the file, because it is scanning already by this read lines. Read lines means it reads from the beginning of the files and all the way to the end. What read lines is that it wants to read everything at once, all together, and put it in a list format. That's what read lines function is, right? So at the end of this read lines, then file pointer points to the end of that line, of that files. So even if we do here, I want to read one line at a time, then there is no other lines to read because the file pointer already reached the end of that files. So what we need to do is, before we do this, we need to rewind it. How to rewind it? There is a function called seek. So file pointer needs to, oh, this is already know that. So this is a file pointer. There is a function called seek. If you want to go to the beginning of that file, then you need to put here, this is a position 0. Okay? So rewind the file pointer to the beginning, which is 0. Once we have that, then because we rewind it, so it can run, so that we can read one line at a time, right? We read one line at a time. I think this is enough. The other, I want to skip that. Okay, that may be confused to you guys. So now you know the difference between read line and read lines. Read lines read everything at once and put each line as an element in a list. On the other hand, the read line, then you need to read one line at a time, so the file pointer moves to the next line, and next line, continue until the end of that file. Okay, so far we looked at a for loop. As I said earlier, Python provides two iterative statements, a for loop and a while loop. So here is the thing that we summarize. A for loop in Python is typically used when you know in advance how many times that you want to iterate. Then you can do for loop. If you do not know how many times, then instead you need to say conditional statements. Then you need to use for loops. The format of that is in this way. For some iterable, like a list, or file. File is an iteration of lines, right? The list is iteration of elements. So we use that iterable concept here. So for each item in that iteration, then we need to do some of the executions, some of the logics within this for loop. Similarly, while loop, then while we put a condition, so as far as this condition is true, then we do the code inside of that while loop. Back to the previous example here. Remember that one is this, right? We already know that. We already looked at the beginning of today's lecture, right? The exact same thing can be done here. This is a list. We have a while loop. While list exists, then we need to add from the back end. List -1 means the back end. I want to put that into sum. Initially, sum is 0. Okay. And then let's put this comments. Once once we add 1, then we need to reduce the size of this, the elements. As we add this, then we need to squeeze the list. So we need to squeeze again. Add 7. Add 9, then we need to squeeze again. Add 23, then list will be squeezed in this way. After add 8, then we squeeze to this list. After we do this, then done, right? So as far as there is a list, list is true if list exists. If there is no nothing, everything is out, everything popped out, then no more list, right? This is a condition. As far as there is the list exists, then that's true. If nothing in the list, then empty, therefore that is a false. That is the end of this while loops. While loops, this is highlighted ones. For loops, this is for loops, right? Highlighted. This is while loops. In order to do this, how many, the count is something that in order to use average, then we need to have a count. In order to get the sum, then we need to have a sum. This is anyway given. This is, yeah. And then only whether we want to use while loop or for loops. For loops, then we know already. So the format is for each element in the given list. This is simpler. While loop, then we need to think, what should we do? Then we need to do, we want to pop the last ones and add it to the summations. We keep doing that. That's how it works, right? So in this case, that is that, and same thing here. If we want to show that here, then this shows a little different ways, because initially we add 10 and then 7 backward. When you do here, then forward, we add 4 and then 12 and 23, therefore 35. It goes that way. So for loops and while loops, they are very similar, but the way that you use a little different. If you know the length of that iteration, and for example, the list is given, or dictionary, or tuple, then you can simply use for each element in that data type. That works. Also, given a file pointer, then once you read the file, then you can use the for loops, either this or here we already read it, right? While loop is a little different, right? That is, we need to put here some conditions. Or you can do this if we know list is, for example, list is true as far as an element available. Very similar things that you could do. For example, if you have this, I'm gonna copy that here, and then you can do while CNT is greater than 0. It's already put there, right? Then you don't need to, as far as the CNT is over, then you can do, I want to do CNT, not that way. I want to count from initially CNT stat. I want to do, say, in different ways. I here, while loop as far as I is less than CNT. CNT is a number of this element. How many elements? Whatever the elements there. We start to, from I equals 0. Okay. Initially I is 0. So 0 is less than whatever the CNT, the count there. So we keep doing this, right? But at the end, we want to increase this I. So I increase. So we repeat that as far as we consider all elements there. We don't need to do this, list pop, and then the first elements can be added to the sum, and we print sum, and we add this increment. We count that number. If we see count here, then maybe confused. So we can put the size there. As far as I is less than size, then we do this, and later I think we need to put here size, right? Less than the size. The I is a counter. It's element count. So count elements. Then the same thing like this, right? Or there are many ways that you could do. As I originally consider, remember that I want to use, let's say this is, well, I'm going to put the other one here, because I was started this. Let's say count is less than, as far as the count is greater than 0, then count should be, reduce one at a time. And when it initially count is the size of this length, right? This is size of given list, size of a given list. And we reduce the size one at a time, and then we pop. Oh, we don't need. Yeah, we can pop that. Yeah, right. And then the last ones that we added to the sum. Then it'll be like that, and here divided by 0. Oh, here. That is it could be 0, right? Count could be 0. At the end, it could be, oh yeah, count it. So what we need to do here is, yeah. So we need to put initially size equals count, and then this should be size. We keep initial the length of the list, and we use that once, because if we with count and count reduced, reduce until what number, finally count will be 0. Then here we need to something divided by 0, right? So that is not the case. That's not what we want, right? We need to, in order to get the average, we need to something divided by the number of element. So we need to keep that element. Say we call it different variable size. So we keep that size here at the end. So it'll be fine. Okay, finally, homework assignments. Recall the problem 3.1 that was in the previous notebook. Remember that this expression, additions equals 93. I want you to do that in using the while loops, okay? The for loops that we already looked at. So I want you to think of how you can express the same things in while loops and also for loops. This is the homework assignments. Okay, thank you.